Hello, in the new video of Dynasty 1. Today we're going to talk about Ghostfire. What are we going to talk about Ghostfire? Well, we're going to talk about her awakening and her transcend. And mainly overall her ability, her status, her gameplay in the game currently. So this is my Ghostfire. It's my only fully transcended hero, so level 70 with the third transcending skill. It's also my hero that is the closest to fully perfection. The only thing I'm missing is one more awakening skill. Obviously, skill is 15 out of 15. Destiny is fully satisfied. 4 out of 5 awakening, fully transcended. So, yeah, pretty strong, possibly, supposedly. I'm gonna talk about my Ghostfire right now, which is at 26,000, not 2600 HP. Well, the spirits, not herself. So her awakening skill summons the 2 flame spirits that attract our enemy when you transcended her. So at 2600 HP, it's not a lot. With my hero seal, which gives I think 24%, it bumps it up to 3300-ish. And then with the transcend skill, which gives 40%, it's about 4500 HP. So 4500 HP is not a lot, okay? Especially these 2 spirits, they tend to stay together. So what happened is they tend to get destroyed by area damage. When you fight against any other player, they have some heroes that do area damage, and usually these 2 spirits die at the same time, along with Ghostfire, because Ghostfire is also melee. All 3 of them will just stand at the same spot and take the damage at the same time. Sometimes it's really pointless of the way that these spirits operate. But before I talk about that, I'll also show you in this video some clips of my offense, or my attack and my defense. You can see at the right time, those spirits can save lives. And on offense or defense, sometimes they can just lure the enemy to attack them, and that buys you time to defend and buys you time for your other heroes to come over or have their skill, have their rage build up and whatever, okay? So that's the thing. But let's talk about a completely perfected with the best hero seal Ghostfire. How much HP does the spirits have? Now at 15 out of 15, not 15, at 5 out of 5, a Ghostfire spirit has 3120 HP. Yes, DPS is still the same. DPS doesn't change, which is very lame. So 3120 HP with the hero seal, with the 30%, it bumps it up to 4056. With the transcend skill of 40%, it goes up to 5678. Not extremely high. 5000 something HP. Definitely it's more than some hero, but considering that they are supposed to tank all the damage, they will be dead like really quickly. And the thing is, even though it says 2 flame spirits, but as I said earlier, as I described the case earlier, they stand at the same position, so they're just gonna die at the same time anyways by area damage, by enemy skills. So not that great. But what if you don't use that hero seal? You use another hero seal to make her more offensive. Without the 30% from hero seal, only the 40%, it only bumps it up to 4300 HP. It's even worse. Then her skill, you can use the one that buff the skill damage by 30%. It still doesn't reach 2000 damage per target. Adding another 400-ish, 500 damage is not a lot, but yes, there's 6 targets. So overall damage increased by almost 3000 damage, which is quite significant. However, the thing is, Ghostfire, she never targets the same target. The 6 target has to be 6 different targets. It is area damage, but a very small area. The difference is comparing to Zhuge Liang have 5 lightning, and 4 or 5 of them can hit the same target and have a bigger area damage. So that is more significant, because the only reason why you want to use that hero seal is, for example, there are buildings that has 1600, 1800 HP. So you want to one-hit KO the building, then you want that. However, when you're above level 100, 120, you don't see buildings with only 16 to 1800 HP anyways. they are almost always above 2000. So there is no matter what, Ghostfire cannot one hit KO these buildings. So there's no point in buffing going up from 1500 to 2000 because you just can't take out the building with one skill, and she'll never target the same building, the same target anyways. That means that's why I don't think it's really that important, because if you're clearing troops, 1500 is good enough to clear out most troops anyways. And in that case, the troop stands together, so the six targets might be sitting very close together, and then the area damage will affect each other. So you might be able to attack the same unit with 4,000 or 5,000 damage if they're right next to each other. So that's one problem. The other problem is the DPS. There's no DPS really in here. So I want to suggest a couple change that I really think Ghostfire need, especially her awakening skill, because I've talked about this many times. She's one of the two heroes in this whole game where their awakening skill is just a flat number that doesn't change based on anything. There is two current trend for awakening skill. One is time. You either give it more time or reduce time on skill. The other one is a percentage based on their skill, based on their attribute, based on something. Her skill doesn't. Whenever you level up, you get like 500 extra HP for those spirits. Why 500? Right? It's a really stupid way to give someone an awakening skill. So my suggestion is just to change the HP and DPS to a percentage. Well, we can just follow a different hero's upgrade pattern. For example, what I think will really fit her is Machinist upgrade order. Machinist awakening pattern starts from 28% and then ends at 60%. So 60% of her HP would be, even at level 70, would be 7,000 times 60%, which is 4,200. 4,200 HP for the spirit is not really that strong considering you can get to that point with the transcending skill right now. So it's pretty much the same. Okay, there is only room for improvement. If you are at level 60, then I think at level 60 Ghostfire has around 6,000 something HP. 60% of that is like 2,000 something. Really close to what her 5 out of 5 skill is, 3,000 something. So there is room for improvement. The thing is, I don't want my level 60 Ghostfire to be the same as my level 70 Ghostfire. Her awakening skill is still the same. Nothing changed. It's still 2,120 HP for the Flame Spirits. If it does change based on her own HP, it will be an incentive to actually use Ghostfire and buff her HP, because although you can't see it right now because I'm not in my own account, I'm just looking at the info. My Ghostfire has close to 11,000 HP. So let's say 10,000 HP, 60% of that will be 6,000 HP. Then I will feel like my Ghostfire is actually upgrading, improving. Her awakening skill doesn't stop at level 60. So it makes it more useful. On top of the 6,000, she can have Hero Seal. Then it goes up even further. And the Transcending Seal, 40% goes up even higher. Then you might be saying, well, isn't it too much HP? No, because if you compare it to Chow Chow's, the two minions from Chow Chow, they have close to 20,000 HP with the Transcending skill. And they do damage. And they actually target defensive structures. And they last for 30 seconds. And they don't have to soak up all the damage. So they're not as easy to die from enemy fire. You may think, well, they're supposed to tank. Yes, but the difference is, once you transcend the Ghostfire, those two Flame Spirits are supposed to attract all enemy fire, all enemy attack. That means even with 10,000 HP, they can easily die quickly. And it lasts for 10 seconds too, so it sucks. Now her skill takes 15 seconds. That is another problem that I'm going to talk about. But let's focus on the DPS. Why not just give them some DPS? The two minions from Chow Chow's have a couple hundred, I think 300 DPS. Insane. It's not just DPS, I think it's also area damage as well. And then again, they attack really fast. Ghostfire spirits attack really slow. So I think you can buff the DPS. You can just A DPS, well, for DPS, you follow different patterns. You can follow the Shooter Taishi and Lubu's awakening pattern. They start at 8% and ends at 20%. Ghostfire at level 70 has about 800 DPS. 20% of that is only 160. 160 is not that strong, considering it's not even area damage. An Alchemist at like level 6 or level 5 has 200 DPS already. Area damage. So these two things, giving them just like 100 to 200 DPS, it's not very strong, but it's not insignificant because at least they can do damage right now. 10 is not damage. 100 it's some damage. Because with Treasure and Hero Seal, you can bump up the DPS to around like 1,000. So at most, it's only 200 something, 300 damage. At least if they're not tanking well, at least they can do some damage to help out. So I think that definitely need a change. The awakening skill needs to be changed. You cannot just have a flat increase, a flat number as your awakening skill. That is really horrible. Now going back to the skill, one big problem of Ghostfire on defense is her range. Okay, there's two range. The range in which she activates her skill, and then there is a range where her skill will hit. So for example, this is just an example. I don't know the exact distance. Example, if Ghostfire can see at a 10 tile range, meaning she'll activate her skill when someone is within 10 tile, but her skill only reaches up to 8 tile. What that means is she's gonna waste her skill. And this happens very often. If you use Ghostfire on defense, you can see that sometimes a troop walk by and then it triggers her skill. Now the troop can just walk to somewhere else or died, and her skill has no target. Or when there's only 1 or 2 troop in the front and she activates her skill, only 1 or 2 of the Ghostfire hits and then wastes the other stuff. That happens a lot because the range of her skill is very short compared to when she activated her skill. Now another good example to compare to is Zhao Yun, because Zhao Yun's actual skill has a farther range than his activation. So what that means is sometimes Zhao Yun gets triggered by a troop. However, his Dragon Spear can target the hero behind it because the skill actually has a bigger range than his trigger range. Ghostfire is the opposite. Her skill has a lower range than the trigger range, which is ridiculously stupid. That's one thing to change. So the other thing I want to talk about, changes the cooldown. Now, Zhao Yun is another good example. 15 seconds, both of their skills do not require a 15-second cooldown. Their skills are not that great to require a 15-second cooldown, especially new heroes, new sword heroes that come out with 13-second cooldown and a much stronger skill. I really hope they can reduce both of their skills to 12 seconds. Then it's more acceptable. In that case, the other thing to talk about is the awakening skill. Why can't those flame spirits last the entire skill? It's not really that big of a deal. 12 seconds, because it's not the same spirit. They still have to die out, and they still have to summon again. So if your Ghostfire get attacked by Thunder Formation, she cannot use her skill. At the end, I'm just saying, 15-second cooldown and spirits that last for 10 seconds, there's 5 seconds gap, and that's horrible. If there's only 2-second gap, I think it's acceptable. The 5-second gap, it's too long. It just takes too long to use Ghostfire skill. It's crazy. So, pretty much, it's very buggy as well, and horrible execution. It's not horrible design. I really like the design of Ghostfire, but the executions are bad. Like her awakening skill, the idea is great. Her transcending, kind of okay, but the execution is bad. Who designed these numbers, right? Now the other actual bug is that with her third transcending level, these fire spirits will actually activate structures that are upgrading. What that means is if you're looking at someone's base and like, oh, all the purgatory towers are upgrading, so that's great. It's easy because it's not gonna attack me. However, if there's the spirits attack in the range and it taunt the Purgatory Tower, it will actually activate the Purgatory Tower in upgrade, and they will start attacking you. And this happened to me a couple of times, and sometimes it cost me my 3 flags because all of a sudden, the buildings in the center, high damaging building in the center, starts to activate and start doing a lot of damage that I wasn't expecting because I wasn't expecting to take care of that. It really sucked, especially like a Purgatory Tower or the Frost Chamber, because they have insane range. They can start taking out your heroes, and just doing more damage. So this is a bug. Hopefully they fix it soon, so that Ghostfire can actually be used on offense. Because right now, if you use on offense, you risk a chance that you activate the enemy's buildings that are actually upgrading. So the last comment that I want to talk about is her transcending skill. Her transcending skills are very lame. At least, I mean, there are 3 transcend skills, but technically there's only 2. The first one is always HP or DPS, so you only have 2 transcend skill. Her first transcending skill, which is the giving Flame Spirit more HP, it's so lame, it's so lazy. Use more HP. Now her third one, her final transcending skill, is actually powerful, but that's it. So she is very minimum in the transcending part. Many other heroes have a lot of transcend skill. Like in the same transcend, they have more than 1 skill listed in there. So I mean, those heroes probably have it's a much more worth investment because you actually get more. Right here, you don't actually get much more for Ghostfire. Her whole transcend is for those spirits. It's not for her, it's for her spirits. And if it's so difficult to summon and maintain her spirits, her transcending skill is not really that great. But as you can see in these clips that I play, I use it on offense, I use it on Alliance Dungeon, I use it on defense. Defense sometimes is great. It can attract the cards that machine is summoned. And usually those cards target defensive structures. And if these spirits can take out 2 or 3 of these cards, it can save a building or 2, which is very, very, very useful in that case. Attacking Alliance Dungeon, because Alliance Dungeon is mostly defensive structures, she will taunt and attract most of the fire, and which led me to prolong the battle and finish and do much more damage. Actually, in these Alliance Dungeon, I had 1 battle that lasts for 3 minutes the entire time. And then I also did like 4 million total damage. So it's all because Ghostfire, the Flame Spirit got activated in the right time, attract the Purgatory Tower, and attract the Thunder Formation. Because the good thing about Purgatory Tower is Purgatory is single target. So the Purgatory Tower will need to take out both each Flame Spirit 1 by 1. And there's only 5-second period. So if the Purgatory Tower, obviously the Purgatory Tower cannot kill my Ghostfire in 5 seconds. So the spirits got summoned again and attract the Purgatory Tower again. So that is really great. That is the ideal situation, and it's very useful if that's the only thing you want to use it for. But obviously, I want to use Ghostfire more in depth and for everything. So as you can see, if it happens to be in the right situation, it's extremely useful. But most of the time, it doesn't go as well as you want it to be. So that's the thing. So I mean, Ghostfire needs a lot of change to be on par with the current game meta, especially new heroes are much stronger. So hopefully they can change it. More people start to use her. I mean, I don't know. Do you think she's even worth using, worth regenning? Right? I'm talking about Awakening and Transcending, which is much more investment. People don't even want to regen her to use her because you don't really need her for anything. You need her for Zhao Yun's partnership, Destiny, but Zhao Yun, again, people regen Zhao Yun only for the Destiny for Guan Yu and Heroine. Nobody uses Zhao Yun. These 2 heroes are like in the bottom because mainly they're a sword hero with 15-second cooldown and their awakening skill, and their main skill doesn't do enough damage or do enough thing to make them special. So hopefully she can be changed. She can be fixed, and it's much more valuable. But this is it for this video. I can't really talk about any other Transcend hero as I don't have any. But let me know what you think about Ghostfire. Do you guys like fighting against her, or hate seeing her, or want to try her, or completely not interested in her? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.